If you don't train, if you're not in shape, if you can't run 3 miles, if you can't shoot a man-sized target at 25 yards, you're more of a liability than an asset. What's up, guys? Houston PD just released the surveillance and body cam footage of the Lakewood church shooting, so let's watch it and talk about it. Starts off with camera 1 that's outside on the west side of the Lakewood church. White SUV with the woman getting out. She's wearing a tan trench coat and a blue backpack. Police report stated that she had the rifle underneath the trench coat and then another rifle inside her backpack. So that's her son in the yellow shirt that she's unloading out of the car. This is freaking awful. It's absolutely heartbreaking that she put her son through this. All right, she's walking in, got her kid. It almost looks like she has the rifle in her hand and not under the coat. Maybe she concealed it at another point. This is camera 2. These all have no audio. All right, she's walking in right there. All right, let's pause it for a second. Actually, let's let it play. All right, so she just walked in. You saw where it was highlighted where she was walking in. Up in the top right of the screen there, we have an officer that is on his phone. And this officer will be important in a second here, but this officer is on his phone and he's church security. Now, I get it. The job is mundane sometimes. It's boring. It's very easy for complacency to set in and you check your phone. I mean, he may be just checking a text real quick, so who knows? I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, let's imagine he's just checking a brief text. Maybe it's even like an emergency text of something that's going on. People are going to tear this apart. Like, keep that in mind. If you're a police officer and it is your job to be vigilant, you are going to be judged by the court of public opinion. And he might be playing Angry Birds. He might be responding to a text message from his wife about his sick kid. Who knows? But this is something to keep in mind. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. All right, so she walks by. Everyone seems to be acting normal, still a normal baseline. No one's panicking, although most people generally have horrible situational awareness, so she could have walked in with a gas mask and a full kit and a few people would have noticed. Still kind of normal. Officer still on his phone. All right, some guy just noticed something. He's running away. Everyone else noticed him. They're running away. An officer comes out, draws his gun, coming around that corner. Boom, right there. I can't tell from this camera angle, but she looks very close to him. That's probably 10, 15, maybe 20 feet away. She's got a rifle. He's got a pistol. That's a bad situation to be in. All right, so they exchange gunfire. You can see the drywall kicking up there. This guy's getting the heck out of Dodge. This lady comes out. She's like, what is going on here? Let me just make my way on over here and see if I can be of assistance. But you can tell just the confusion. People can't really tell what's going on. They don't know, was it gunfire? Was it a car backfiring? Is there fireworks going on? Like, you can tell people don't really know what's going on. And if you ever find yourself in a situation like this where you have to use deadly force to defend yourself or to defend someone else, then you're going to want a good legal team defending you after the fact. And that's why I trust attorneys on retainer. And if you want to see how AOR compares to those other CCW insurance providers, then scan this QR code or check out my affiliate link in the description. They have individual and family plans so that you will be legally protected should you ever need to protect your life or someone else's life. And don't forget to use promo code DAD to save $25 on your initial sign up. She's still looking outside. It looks like she's looking outside. I assume that's what she's doing. And he's still trying to figure out where the shooter is. Peeking around that corner. Okay, I'm not sure what is around that corner or the way that hallway curves, but crouching down like that isn't really doing too much. It's not really giving him that much of an advantage. If anything, it's probably hurting him because it's making him less agile and less able to move in and out or in and out of cover Now, if you want to peek high and then you don't want to use the same piece of cover the same way twice, if you want to peek high and then come back in and then peek low, that's a different thing. But I think what he was doing was just kind of he was doing something. Sometimes your body and brain make you do weird things in these situations. So let's see. She's coming around the corner. You got drywall kicking up there on the wall. Keep in mind, this is a 360 range at this point. I mean, there's people everywhere. There's people in that room where you saw that lady. It looks like she was a security guard with the blue shirt that walked in that room. So a lot of people are in the crossfire in these situations. And as unfortunate as it is that that boy was struck in the head and is still in critical condition and that other gentleman was struck in the leg, it's amazing that more people weren't struck given how long this gunfight went. So she dropped her rifle. Looks like she's digging through her backpack. She does not have her son with her anymore, which is not obviously we know what happened, but it's just still horrible to think about. You see some drywall kicking up from those gunshots. Again, those people are in that room, so they're essentially being shot at. I'm assuming that's a room. It doesn't look like it was an exit. Maybe it looks like a little closet or something they were in. So she dropped her rifle. She's holding something in her hand. This is so bizarre. Her mannerisms and just the whole situation is so bizarre. But mental illness. Okay, so she's been shot. She's on the ground. I wish we had audio. Still got drywall kicking up from shots that are missing her. Looks like she's slowly collapsing. All right, we got a guy popped around the corner. Oh my gosh. That officer just went in his crossfire, or in his line of fire. This is definitely one of the challenges of being a police officer, and especially being in this type of context, because we have officers of different departments that probably don't train together. They hang out and talk together because they work church security together, but they don't train together, and so all of a sudden they're going to get in a gunfight together. And that's a massive risk for blue on blue or friendly fire. And it's when he walked in front of that officer's line of fire, I mean, that's a really dangerous spot to be in. There was a video I saw a while back where a police officer popped his head out, and as he did that, the guy behind him it was another officer, shot him in the back of the head because he was trying to engage the threat. So it's a bad situation to be in. All right, let's roll it forward some. So they're trying to figure out, looks like they're trying to figure out what to do. Maybe a paralysis by analysis type situation where shooter's down. We know reports said that she claimed she had a bomb. They also probably have the boy down somewhere. All right, security camera 3. Again, no audio. All right, there she is with her son. I think she just pulled the gun out and it freaked everyone out. Has she got 2 rifles in her hands? Oh my gosh, this is so awful to watch with this kid. It's covering his ears. This is heartbreaking. He's reaching out to hug his mom. He's clearly extremely confused. All right, we got a guy coming up from the left here. I think this was the guy earlier that the officer stepped in front of his line of fire. We have another guy coming up. So the guy in the front's got a pistol. The guy in the back has a pointer finger. Keep in mind, we have an officer on the other side that So the shooter's between these two officers as far as I understand right now. Or the officer that was on the phone earlier. This guy, I don't know what he's doing. He has no gun. I guess he's just going to go up there and try to like strike her or like grapple with her or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's a liability is what he is. Get out of there. He's still just, it's like he just wanted to tag along. Dude, this is not the time for a ride along. Oh, let me get out my phone. Yeah, let's call 911. I would really like to know what he was thinking in this moment where putting himself in that situation was going to help him or them. So this officer's already done a mag change. I don't know how many mags he's carrying on him, but I know a lot of people that do not carry an extra mag in plain clothes. All right, so we have additional officers that arrived. The cavalry's there. All right, now we have body cam footage. So I'm going to put on these. All right, so this is the officer that was, we saw him on his phone when she walked in, and I hate that that's how he's going to be known for, but it is what it is. He was on his phone when she walked in, so he's in this like little, I don't know what it is, like this little hallway nook cubby area, and they're going to exchange some gunfire in a second. Doesn't look like we saw the part where him and her were in that really close proximity position where they were both staring at each other. The camera probably cut on too late. She said, "You killed my son." This guy is terrified. Obviously, I mean, the situation would be terrifying. His mechanics and how he's holding this gun does not tell me that he trains with a firearm very often. Look, I don't want to play armchair quarterback, and I also hate when people say they're not going to play armchair quarterback and they immediately play armchair quarterback. But there's certain things that I am going to acknowledge, and one of them is that this officer's weapons manipulation, his mechanics with his gun, does not seem like he trains with a firearm very often. Probably does the annual qual, and that's about it. Or maybe it's just the stress is getting to him, and he's not able to, he doesn't have any dexterity whatsoever. But that grip, I'm not sure what grip is going on there. At least his finger is not on the trigger because there's no target right now.
How did I like to shoot on the west side? 3700.
So I think the shooting started at 1:52 and it is now 1:59. So we're about 8 minutes in. So she's screaming, "I just need help." Yeah. Too bad you didn't get help before you did this. So she's shouting, "There's a bomb." He's about to cross the line of fire, I think, with the other guy. At least he announced, but still. Other guy's ears are probably ringing. So we got the boy that he's been shot. He's on the ground. So sad.
Hold on, watch out. I can see that she's down. I need a medic. I have one young male conscious and breathing. He got shot in the head. I need medics. Cool.
There's 223 shell casings. I thought she had 12. You just one shooter?
Yeah, I just see one. She just came in.
We have other officers down here.
You okay? Y'all been shot? Hold on, she got a fucking bomb. That's the problem. I already called EMS. I need EMS ASAP.
You have a kid tell them?
Yeah, I already did. What's the fucking address over here? Fuck. Timmons Lane. Timmons Lane. I need him at 3700 Timmons Lane side.
What's the address? He didn't know the address. If you're going to work security at a place, it'd probably be a good idea to have the address at least in your memory so that you can recall it in case something like this happens. Now, maybe the stress made him forget, but I would imagine that he works this gig pretty often, and it's important to know the address.
Sergeant route. Is everybody else has been shot?
This video is going to get flagged so hard from YouTube.
Hold on. Hold on.
You got gloves? Everybody got gloves? You got gloves?
I got gloves. I got gloves. What
Gloves.
you need?
Okay, take the weapon. Gloves on.
Gloves. All right, you got a shooter that's down on the ground. Don't know if she's still alive, incapacitated, whatever. She's got her rifle next to her. And apparently this guy is telling him to put his gloves on to pick up the rifle, I guess because he's concerned with fingerprints. But this is an example of people being more concerned with policies and procedures than tactics and what is like really important in the moment. I imagine we'll see some more of that.
Hold on.
We got some sort of yellow cord.
Watch out.
That guy thought that was a victim. Oh my gosh.
Timmons side.
This man needs to go somewhere else. Did y'all see that? I'm pretty sure this is the guy from earlier that was just walking around with no gun and his pointer finger. So we got the ABC officer here.
Hold on.
Ma'am, where you shot? This man comes up. He thinks she's a victim.
Hold on. No.
And then he just randomly comes up and grabs the gun.
Timmons side.
You can see the Palestine sticker on the buttstock.
Suspect is down. I need EMS ASAP for one small child.
All right, this is Officer Garcia's body-worn camera.
I think there was about 6 to 8 that they actually put as part-time employees. I don't know how they did it with their agency.
What are people running?
Look at that. Finger on the trigger. The moment she pulls her gun out of the holster, her finger goes on the trigger. This is so characteristic of policing, though, and police training, or lack thereof. A PowerPoint is not training. So they're pushing forward. They don't have any stimulus right now. There's some stimulus. Her finger is still on the trigger.
3639.
That officer's a liability.
You're at Lakewood Church. We need units now.
Or her lack of training is a liability. That should be fixed. I really hope that they will use this body cam footage to remedy that. It's a lot of gunfire. That would be very, very loud inside of a sanctuary like that. Or not sanctuary, but inside of a building like that.
We need to go. We need to get closer. Oh, my camera's not working.
There it is. You hear that? My camera's not working. Remember the glove situation? You know, put the gloves on before you grab the shooter's gun. My camera's not working. Policy and procedures over tactics. This, in my opinion, speaks to a department and possibly a leadership that is more concerned with hyper accountability and making sure that you do your pre-tour inspections, you check your oil, did you do this, did you do that, and not with what's actually important. And when these types of things happen, you have spent so much time focusing on these things that really don't matter that now people are trying to do the things that don't matter in a very, very stressful situation like this. My body cam's not working. And they are understandably terrified. And, you know, this fear is causing them to lock up. Yeah, it's understandable. And I've seen people critique them in comments in the original video. And, yeah, we have body cam footage, and we think we can see what's actually going on. And we had the luxury of looking at this after the fact. But in that moment, when the sound is echoing throughout the building, you have people everywhere. You have the shooter between two sets of officers. It's very chaotic and confusing. And so you throw fear on top of that, and yeah, you're going to have these pauses and delays in the momentum. She's got gear just dangling off of her.
It's probably coming. Careful. Let's approach. We need to approach. Come on. Come on. Come on. We need to approach. Father God, just be with us. Forgive us our sins. Come on. Come on. What the fuck?
She's out. She may have a bomb.
So sad.
You need to call SPD.
Well, I already got them caught.
Poor boy is just
We need a medic. We need a medic immediately.
bleeding out and twitching on the ground.
need bomb squad.
We don't know yet. We have a kid that's down. Possibly bullet.
We need a medic. Hey, get a medic. Hey, is this your voice?
You okay? You got me shot? Yeah, I got it.
We need a. Should we approach?
Hold on, she's got a fucking
Well, she
bomb.
might have a bomb.
That's the problem. I already called EMS.
Have EMS roll up here.
I need EMS ASAP.
It's that paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, I already did. What's the fucking interesting?
Not really paralysis by analysis. It's just police train for active shooter. They go through the drills and everything. There's supposed to be standardized procedures of what to do if there's a bomb or what have you. But
Where's my ambulance at?
situations like this happen, and then they all of a sudden forget, like, what are we supposed to do now? And it's not as clean cut as some of those training scenarios are. All right, so now we got Harrison County Sheriff Deputy Orellana. He's pretty far away, it seems. Oh no, he's okay. So that's the main area that all those people were congregated in the very first video. That's that hallway that everyone was pushing down.
No, ma'am. I don't know.
He's pushing up. He sees other officers. Pushing up a little faster since he sees the other officers, it looks like. That guy's still there on the phone with his pointer finger, just... I wonder if that is the guy that tried to pick up the gun earlier. Or will end up picking up the gun.
42 item 28 is gonna be a female. She's down right now.
We need a medic. We need a medic immediately.
We have a kid. Shooter is down. Looks like she has something strapped on her chest.
We need a bomb squad.
Do you know if we have any more outstanding?
We don't know yet. We have a kid that's down. Possibly bullet to his head.
Hey, get a medic.
There is anyone out there with you?
We have other officers out here.
Sir, we have EMS stage. Let me know when they can move up.
That's the problem.
So EMS is staged.
Have EMS roll up
They're-
here at,
They're waiting to hear word that they can roll up.
Sam 17 to over 28. Take a breath, conduct yourself, and let us know. Can we release the channel and have EMS move up?
Sounds like a sergeant's getting
right
on
now.
and
She has something strapped on
trying
her.
to calm everyone
Trying
down.
to figure it out.
All right. Looks like that was it. Yeah, that was, I still don't know how the boy was shot. Probably during the crossfire with her and that other officer that was on his phone when she walked in. But it's a awful, heartbreaking situation. But it serves as a reminder that at any point, something like this can happen. Church, school, work, your home, and you have to be ready. You have to be mentally ready, physically ready. You have to be ready to stop a threat and render aid to people who may have been hurt by the threat or hurt by someone else who is trying to stop the threat. Yeah, and if you're an officer in those positions, security, don't just think of it like a job. I hear and I've heard way too often officers would say, well, it's just a job. It's not just a job. Just a job is working at Kroger. Just a job is working for FedEx or Amazon or being an accountant. Those are just jobs. What you're doing directly affects the safety and security and survivability of other people. And treating it like just a job is the wrong mindset. The other thing is complacency. Complacency kills. I wrote a document titled Complacency Kills. I wrote that because of the complacency that I noticed when I was a police officer. Not just with others, but also with myself, because it creeps into everyone, regardless of who they are and what they'll tell you. Everyone gets complacent at some point. You have to constantly fight back against complacency. My first bullet point in that document is that the most dangerous part of policing is that it's usually not that dangerous. And I mean that statistically speaking, because most of the calls you go on, most of the things you do, you're not going to end up in something like that. Staving off complacency and being vigilant will keep you alive and keep others alive. And maybe help reduce the reactionary gap that occurs because of complacency, where you're on your phone or you're thinking, well, you know, you have that bystander. Police can get bystander bias as well. You saw it in the video where they were like, what was that? Was that gunfire? Why are people running? Well, people are running probably because something really bad happened that you need to go over there and deal with. So you probably also noticed how I didn't say much about how scared I thought those officers were or calling them cowards or anything like that. I've seen enough of that online. And I don't know, I can see body cam footage, but I don't know exactly what they can see and can hear. Yeah, some of them looked really scared and like they didn't want to engage the shooter. That happens. And it's unfortunate. It's easy to criticize someone in the comment section on YouTube, but that's not what I wanted the focus of this video to be about. I wanted to talk about the realities that you accept as a police officer every day when you put on a uniform, or the realities you accept as a civilian who carries a gun every day. And let this and other incidents like it be a reminder of the standard that you should train to. I also want you to consider what it would be like to have the most stressful moments of your life recorded. Now, some of you may say, well, they signed up for that, so they should know that they're accepting that and accepting that everything's going to be recorded and all of society is going to see this. But think about if you wore a body cam every day of your life and you were just thrown into these situations. Now, as an officer, yes, you should realize that your most stressful moments of your life are going to be recorded. So not only should you be prepared just because you should be prepared for a fight, but you should also be prepared because you just don't want to be humiliated on national media. And staying tactically and technically proficient can prevent that, or can help prevent that. As far as the fear is concerned, you know, that's another animal. Force on force, fighting, jiu-jitsu, those types of things can help you deal with that, and stress inoculation in general. But departments need to stop focusing on politics, diversity hires, community engagement, all this stuff, this fluff. You need to focus on the fundamentals. One, you need to focus on the fundamentals of marksmanship because police are lacking in that. And then you need to focus on the fundamentals of policing. You are law enforcement. You're not a teddy bear in uniform. And if you are a leader, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, whatever the case may be, and you prefer to have teddy bears in uniform, then you're in the wrong position. And you shouldn't have that job. When that shooter entered that building, diversity doesn't matter. It's all about who is the most competent, who is tactically and technically proficient with their firearm and their gear to be able to handle the threat. Not what color are they, not what gender are they, not how they identify, how competent are they. It's a meritocracy at that point. If you are retired on duty, if you're someone who is just collecting a paycheck because you've been doing it for 20-something years, and you would do something else if you could take a 401k and go somewhere else, but you're not because you're on the pension and you would lose all that, you need to rethink that. And departments, yeah, it may help your retention if you have a pension where you basically have professional prisoners after a set number of years. But how many of those people actually still care about the job versus They're just doing it for a paycheck because it's just a job. This is the reality. And if you don't train, if you're not in shape, if you can't run 3 miles, if you can't shoot a man-sized target at 25 yards, you're more of a liability than an asset. 40 hours of PowerPoint is not training. Getting on the mat and fighting, getting on the range and shooting, or using simunition for force-on-force, that's training. So let this and other incidents like it be a reminder of what our priorities should be. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, train to a higher standard.